What do you watch when you're on the web? Ironing my underwear. It's funny, smart, and exceptionally well read. Ironing my underwear. You'll want to subscribe ASAP.
YouTube, what's going down? Alright, I get it, it's Friday, let's get in, let's get out, let's make this a good one, and let's get on with our lives. I've got shit to do. This story is just really embarrassing for me. Because a lot of my stories are those stories where you look back and you can laugh at it later and everyone's like, oh, we've all been there. This story is just me being an asshole, pretty recently actually. So we're just about at the point where we can laugh at it, but I'm still an asshole. So let's roll this story back and start all the way from the beginning so you can get to the end and we can, you know, tell a story. So this whole thing rolls back all the way to the beginning of this year. Those were the good old times. Back when people didn't ask me stupid questions like, what are you gonna do with your life? Or, do you have a plan? Well, the truth is I still feel like I'm 18 years old and I'm trapped in a 22-year-old body who's having to leave college and go into the real world. I hate when people use the term the real world as if life just drops off after you graduate. Let me set the record straight. I have no intention of experiencing less or having less fun after I graduate. It's just a new chapter that I'm kind of ready to start. Cheesy moment of the day. I don't know what that was. Just at the beginning of the year, back when everything was fresh and we're at a big football game. And a bunch of my friends and I are tailgating at my girlfriend Meg's parents' tailgate. And while we're there, there's just some bros that kind of start creeping in and we don't know them and they start to kind of eat our food. And at first we're just like, whatever, like people are drunk, we'll just let it slide. But then they kind of start being loud and a little rowdy and like no one invited them. But I don't really like confrontation, so I didn't really want to say anything to anybody. But eventually what happened was that I put my drink down and I looked away for just like 5 seconds, and I looked back and my drink was gone. And at first I thought, okay, there's a lot of drinks around, maybe someone actually grabbed my mixed drink and just, you know, actually holding it, but whatever. And then I looked over at the moochers, the dudes no one invited, and one of those douches is like holding my cup and I can just tell he has this smirk on his face that he just achieved something. He fucking stole it. Now I wasn't totally sure, I didn't want to accuse him and I felt weird trying to, so I just kind of mentioned it to Meg. And Meg, having more balls than I do, goes up to this guy and asks him, did you just steal that drink? And like a deer in headlights, he's like, Luckily Meg speaks stupid college bro and knows that actually means I took it. She just snatches it out of his hand and brings it back to me. Now dudes out there watching, you gotta understand something. As much as I appreciated Meg going out there and being my princess in shining gowns, I don't know, princesses don't wear armor. It was very emasculating to have my girlfriend go up to this guy and get my drink back for me. So fast forward now to later that night. Meg and I are out at the bars having a great time, mingling with people and ready to mingle with people. I was trying to say single, ready to mingle, but neither of us are single. And while we're at the bar, Meg sees her boss. At this point, I'd never met the guy, so she introduces me to him and we hit it off. He's a cool guy. And while we're talking, I set my drink down and we're chatting. And about 3 minutes later, I look back and right where my rum and coke was is a guy drinking a rum and coke. And so in my head, I'm like, not on this tape, bitch. I'm not letting another guy get away with stealing my drink. Your girl had to get your drink for you last time. This time, you're gonna do it. You're gonna man up. You're gonna step up. You're gonna step up 3D if you have to. So I throw my shoulders back, chest out, I'm ready to fucking roll. And I walk up on this bro like, hey dude, thanks for the drink, snatch. And I just snatch the drink out of his hand and take a big gulp out of it. As I'm doing this, Meg and her boss have their jaws dropped. And I'm thinking it's because they think I'm just a baller, being a man, doing what men do, not letting anybody walk all over them and getting what's mine. Turns out that's not why. Because first of all, that wasn't my drink I stole out of this guy's hand. When I set my drink down, Meg actually grabbed it for me and had it in her hand. So now I'm just going up to a random bro, snatching drinks out of his hand and drinking it in front of him. But for the double whammy, it turns out this isn't just a random bro. This is Meg's boss's brother who is just in town for the weekend. And his first intro to Iowa State is some douche snatching a drink out of his hand and drinking it in front of his face going, thanks bro. Ugh. Because what's even more embarrassing than snatching a drink out of someone's hand and drinking it in front of their face is having to give them back the drink that you just took from them. I can't explain to you how incredibly just embarrassing and awkward I felt the rest of the night. Needless to say, I'm never doing that again. So if you want to steal my drinks, feel free, because I'm not going to say shit to you. Alright guys, that was Rum and Coke Scarred Me. I love you. I'm in love with you.